How's it going, everybody? This podcast is brought to you by RYYZN Make Life Workout, a health, self-development and lifestyle platform building a passionate community of knowledge seekers, creative dreamers and future leaders.
For details on the latest RYYZN event that will feature expert speakers in the field of self-development and growth, check out www.ryz-workout.com.
That's www.ryz-workout.com. Enjoy the show. How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the High Frequency Club podcast. My name is Marlon Salario.
And my name is Sinead Bierman. We're here talking self-development, growth and mindset.
No visual on this episode, team, but if you're listening on Spotify, YouTube, if you're listening on Spotify or Apple, everything is all go. But in this episode, we have the team from This Is Collectively, two of the three ladies anyway. This Is Collectively is a fashion activewear brand made up of Vi, Jess and Anna. And today we had Jess and Anna.
Yeah, and it's a sustainable, eco-friendly brand that will be launching in the coming months. So it was awesome to sit down with them and chat about their inspiration, I guess, to start up the brand and also what they do in order to ensure that it is as sustainable as it can be. Yeah,
my questions was like, what the heck makes something sustainable? Is there a criteria and who holds you accountable? Because I've heard of other startups, who have got certain criterias, but no one holds them accountable and no one just asks any questions. You just read eco and you just go and buy it. But they gave us a really good explanation on what that means and how they will uphold their values.
Yeah. And it was interesting to learn about each of their roles within the company as well and their learnings, I guess, throughout this whole process of sort of developing this brand. And
yeah, Jess sounds like whether she likes to admit it or not, has been an entrepreneur in ways or been super creative and always idea-driven since she was 12 years old. So she shares her process on what that's like for her.
Yeah. So as always, there's takeouts in there for everyone. So listen in and follow along at the High Frequency Club. Let us know your thoughts once you've had a listen.
Enjoy the episode. So sweet. Thanks heaps for coming on. Did you ladies want to introduce yourself first? Let people know who you are, what you do.
Okay. Okay, well, I'm Anna, I'm 23. Born in England. I moved over to New Zealand in 2004, but consider myself a Kiwi. I come from a background of creativity and sports. I've had a big passion for fitness for a while now. That during COVID I tried to set up my own little business called Fog, where essentially it was going to be something where I would come to clients and give people access to exercise, so no matter where they were, they could feel comfortable working out in their own home or locally at a park. And then COVID hit, and unfortunately I lost all of my clients that way. But through that I was able to meet Jess. We worked out in a park together. And then that kind of forced me to focus more on what I was good at, which is photography, graphic design, animation, videography, anything creative. Currently for work, I work as a digital marketer. And then in my spare time, I do an extra 10 hours of work for my partner's company and his brother, working as web design, graphic design, photography. And then, in my spare time, we've been doing a project collectively, so it's kept me busy. Always been interested in social media. It's been a platform that, funny enough, I can definitely say that me and my friend discovered before a whole load of other people when it came out around 2010. It became a platform for me that I could share and post my creativity on before the whole influencer thing came about. So for me, it was more of a platform where I could really expose the passion for photography, video, everything like that.
Did you start like on Bebo?
No, I didn't start on Bebo.
Did you go before then, MySpace?
No, I've never been on MySpace either.
Really? When did you start on Facebook?
Yeah, I started on Facebook, and I started having a photography page on there, but it was really Instagram that I started sharing and creating a fitness page, and then creating VFX on top of workout videos and creating them from scratch before you can get pre-made presets that does it all for you. I was that person that spent hours trying to do little pop-up things. Yeah, I
remember the famous Go Fit Anne.
Yeah.
But we'll touch on that. Anyway, Jess, hello.
Hello. So I'm Jess. I'm a little older. I'm 32, and I'm originally from France. And I moved here nearly 6 years ago now. And I was really into sports and sports in general. And it's really when I moved here that I saw that, like in New Zealand, health and wellness, fitness is just, like a lifestyle more than anything. Well, at least it's really different from what we have in France. And so when I moved here, I really started to exercise more. I trained twice a day. I was really into gym and Muay Thai before I got busy with kids. And then that's when I kind of got addicted to going to the gym, really, because I wasn't really a gym person before I moved here. So I started to actually have way more active wear than casual wear instead. And then, as Anna said, that's how I came across her account, because I was starting to look at workouts on Instagram, with the Kala Itines movements and stuff.
Yes.
And so I think there's beauty in social media, because there's a lot of, I guess, downsides at the moment, because you can get clashed and stuff. But it's thanks to social media that I met Anna and started the program. And there's a third person as well who's doing the collectively project with us, who's Vi. She's not here today because she's, obviously a full-time, we also work full-time, but, we took some time off today. And so she's initially a friend of mine who I actually met here as well. So she's French too, but has family in New Caledonia.
Yeah.
And is really a natural lover, but more so an artist. So she paints and does poetry and stuff. And didn't even know Anna when we first started the project. So it's really good that the team came together like that. We all come from different backgrounds, and we really complete each other. So
awesome. There's so much to unpack there. Let's start with what is This Is Collectively?
So, collectively is it's funny how it came to life, because you can see now that most of the small businesses who emerged in the past few months actually started during COVID last year, when we went into lockdown. And so initially, I've always been into some sort of eco-friendly living, or what we call light greenies. I'm not a green hippie or something, but I've always been into this kind of eco-friendly thinking. And initially, when we went into lockdown, I wanted to create a blog. I actually bought all the domain names and stuff, and it was called the Conscious Shopper. And I wanted to basically just create a platform where I could reference all sorts of things, products and things that were just more, environmentally friendly, things, products for the bathroom, but also clothing. And that's basically how the whole thing started. Because obviously I was bored when we went into lockdown. Just a platform that could help people easily change to something more sustainable. And during the lockdown, you could see that people were either baking or working out. And then obviously I was working out because Anna gave me some exercises as well. And I was like, activewear. I wear that all the time, and especially working from home. Back then I was like, I'm going to look into that and do some research as well for the blog.
Yeah.
And then I started to look into brands, and I was like, there's not a lot of brands who are actually sustainable, because obviously activewear is made out of, like polyester or nylon, because you have to have these in order to be functional. You can't just have like cotton leggings or stuff. You don't. I mean, there are options, but it's not really activewear. And so I started to look into that. And obviously I didn't want to do this alone because it's boring to work on something alone, because you lose the lose the passion and the motivation as well. So that's how I started to talk to Vi about that, because she's not a gym bunny, but she lives in activewear. So we basically discussed the project, and then as soon as the lockdown ended, I went back to my PD sessions with Anna, and then talked to her about this project as well. Because we were talking a bit more than just burpees and stuff.
It was during the lockdown, and we were actually doing burpees, and we were just talking about things, and that was when Jess was talking to me about collectively. And not obviously, but I am quite a person that is conscious about what I use, how things can be more sustainable, how I can reduce my waste. I've worked for people in the past, like Little Bird, who have been very conscious with how products are made. I really care about organic and how things are grown and how they're beneficial for us. So for me, combining something that was my huge passion for, I used to sit down and review activewear in my garage because I just genuinely had such a huge passion for it. It was a no-brainer, and I remember going out to dinner and meeting Vi for the first time, and them saying, "Oh, like it's okay, you go home and think about it." I'm like, I don't even need to go home and think about it. Like I'm pretty keen to get on board because it's something that combines all my passion into one.
This made sense.
Really?
Timing, timing plays such a huge part, especially with you ladies all meeting and also just being passionate about the exact same idea. So what's the criteria with creating something eco or sustainable?
Eco-friendly and a sustainable brand,
Well, basically to make it easy, like sustainable fashion is just keeping the environment in mind when you create a product. Especially here clothing. So when you design it, where you manufacture it, how you distribute it, it just has to. You just have to keep, I guess, the planet in mind. Can you use natural, organic, or recycled fabrics? Can you make sure that the design that you're working with are actually, pieces that will be timeless, or that you're not going to come with random patterns that you're only going to wear for 3 months and then you're like, oh, I'm bored of that. It's the colors as well. Basically just making things that will become more of a staple rather than a temporary piece of clothing. It's also where you source your raw materials. So obviously we have a manufacturer in Bali, not in New Zealand. We wanted to, we looked at having things made in New Zealand, but it's actually quite hard. And also we just didn't have the funds, to actually get things done here. And it was important for us to go to someone who had the expertise and also the knowledge with, I guess, activewear, because we don't come from a fashion, industry background or anything. And then, it's just trying to minimize waste along the process of developing the product, making the product, and ways to also, I guess, recycle or upcycle the clothes at the end of their lifespan.
There's a lot to be overseeing.
It was also important for us to make sure that everything down to the T is very ethical and sustainable in terms of our distributors. We work with someone that's very ethical, their family owned and manufactured, they treat their employees and care for them and pay them well. It was also important to make our clothes sustainable in the way that we don't limit body types. in terms of, so it's still a WIP, but we want to cater for larger sizes, which we soon found out that having one product and then just making the size larger doesn't necessarily cater for those larger sizes, like XL plus to several 3XL to even maybe 6XL. You definitely need certain things on a product to make it more comfortable, like waistbands and the length and where that material is going. So that's something that we really wanted to make sure that we're doing, is not trying to limit out those sizes, but after doing our research we actually found that, what was the average size in New Zealand again? I think it was 16? 14 to 16 was their average women's size, and we did a poll and it was quite sad to see that a lot of people thought it was much smaller, was maybe like small to medium. So it is actually realising, accepting that, hey, we're making a product for New Zealanders, what sizes do we need to make based on those facts and cater for them. And I think for us, as a sustainable activewear, and the kind of process and criteria of that is that everything that we do is really catered back to our values and our ethos. I see a lot of companies out there kind of starting to put out sustainable activewear, and I got really nervous in January when I saw that these sustainable activewear brands started to come out and doing it, because I was like, damn it, Jess, I wanted us to be like the first sustainable activewear brand. But I think that people are starting to realise they need to do that, but it's not about putting one sustainable activewear or like legging or sports bra out there and having 90% of your company do the complete opposite and not be sustainable with the distribution and everything like that. So yeah, I think it's important that everything that we do really falls back on our morals of being eco-friendly.
What keeps like these companies accountable?
That's what I mean. Is there when you say you want to create an eco-friendly or a sustainable company, is there like, okay, these are the check points that you have to make sure you're, like you said, your distributor, your manufacturer, all those things, or is it more like you said, up to you guys to try and make sure that you're ticking all those boxes yourself?
Because otherwise anyone can do it, right? Like what you just said, people will say they're eco and then they're actually not.
Well, I guess there's no like grand rules. It's really up to you and how you see it. You can do like, like launch recycled activewear or recycled whatever tomorrow, but just treat that as like a random product and just do lots of greenwashing. It just comes down to how you personally feel about that, and are you actually proud of doing what you're doing? And again, does it, does it make sense for you? And is it, are you actually living the values of the company you are trying to build? And things like that.
And I think it's not just a trend for what I mentioned of 90% of people and the other products not being sustainable. I think that just because people are realising that, we need to create this trend and see that that's really popular now, does it really fall back on everything you stand for as a company, whilst we stand for all of that? We're not trying to, we're trying to be very transparent with everything that we do and say this is what we stand for and believe in, and we're not saying 100% your whole life needs to be eco-friendly, but here's a start, and here's how you can do better, because we certainly aren't green hippies like Jess mentioned, but we're trying to do our best in everything that we can do as a process.
There's always like room for improvements. It's just the little daily changes, or how you could just implement like small things in your daily life to just become a bit greener and
especially in this time and age. What were you saying with the article that just got posted up?
Yeah,
just talking about the climate change article.
That's depressing.
Very depressing. But by 2030, I think we're going to reach our 1.5 degree Celsius warmer than, which we can't really get much higher than that, and it just means that there'll be more crazy natural disasters, which we're already having. So many bushfires and floods and all that kind of thing, and it's only going to get worse, which is crazy to imagine it getting worse.
I think especially with companies that claim to be eco-friendly, transparency is so key. Because I've got another friend who's doing a startup, and they're doing eco-friendly like what do you call it, like bathroom wash and shit like that.
Yeah.
And his is he claims it's completely eco-friendly, and then he talks about all the other ones in the supermarkets, and he goes, bro, their packaging is plastic. Like, how is it even eco-friendly?
Yeah.
So that's why I asked. I was like, well, what makes it eco-friendly, and how come they're not being told off? You know.
Well, like you
for
said,
being on
some of the big companies like that are notorious for fast fashion, and yet they bring out like one line of recycled clothing. But it's like you said, as a company,
it's a bit like H&M and Glassons.
Yeah.
You can see they're starting to pick up on those trends.
Yeah, but like you said, it's only 10% of everything else that they're producing, which is all, like you said, fast fashion and not sustainable. So,
but I think it's really down to how the consumers are going to react to that, and you know, again, like I don't know, like when I was like 15 or something, I just loved H&M and stuff, you know. But again, it's just because you're so used to what you have available in the market, and I mean, it's just a shift in how you shop that needs to happen.
And the price as well.
Yeah, because my next question was, what if there was someone who was like, I want to take care of the environment, I want to be eco-friendly, but I can't afford it. What would you say to them?
Well, I guess the point is also so, you know, like you can see like many big brands that do activewear that are actually quite pricey, and so obviously the goal for us is also to make it affordable to more people. So yes, we'll never be able to have like, you know, like a pair of leggings for like $5, because that, you know, just doesn't work. Because obviously the fabric is more expensive, the way it's made is obviously incurs more labor, and that's because, you know, you're using again a manufacturer that actually pays proper wages to their workers. The packaging will be fully compostable or biodegradable. So again, it's slightly more expensive than, you know, like using, I don't know, like random sheer plastic bags and stuff. So you'll never be able to have, you know, like a cheap, sustainable, you know, I don't know, legging or bras or something. But we'll try to make it as affordable as possible. You know, so the aim is to sell it at a fair price, so that again more people can actually make the change. Because I remember, because Sinead's vegetarian, and we were trying to find vegetarian sausages, and I was like, fuck, it's just so expensive. For like 5 vegetarian sausages, you can get that for like 20 meat sausages. And you're saying like, well, when the demand is higher, the price goes down. So it just sounds like the same thing. Like people's standards, in a way, everyone's got to want to shop eco.
And also with activewear as well, seeing it more, like you said, as an investment, because like you said, it's good quality products that should last you. So instead of buying like a $40 pair of leggings and then 2 months later, you know, they're getting stretchy or whatever and having to buy another pair. Like if you're paying $150, but it's a pair of leggings that should last you for the year, if not longer, then really that is kind of cheaper over the long run versus always buying a
well,
pair.
it's all about, you know, demand and supply, and as you said, also, that's the reason why we wanted to have, I guess, timeless pieces, you know, like you don't need like 10 pairs of, I don't know, black leggings, you know. Like
colourful leggings at that
you
stage.
just need like a few good pairs that you can, you know, wear and wash and rewear and
like all of the colours that we're creating come down to our ethos as well. Like we're not creating bright hot pinks and bright hot purples and bright reds. Like the colours that we're creating are sustainable, so people can wear them all the time and aren't going to throw them away. And to touch on the point of pricing, I think we have kind of thought about that already, and we're not going to have anything over 100. We've looked at brands out there and kind of evaluated everything from the distribution to the making of the material to the pricing of the tags and bags, and then obviously we need to create a profit because we want to invest that straight back into the business to be able to create more. So we're actually cheaper than some of those big brands like Lululemon, who claim to be such a good brand, but they're actually not sustainable. If you read a lot of articles out there, they're just as bad as someone like Nike.
So what is well, first of all, what's in your range that you guys are releasing, and what are they made out of?
So we've got two types. We've got 2 types of leggings. We've got a full length one with pockets, deep pockets, and then we've got a 7/8 legging for people who are slightly shorter with no stitching on the legs and no pockets to keep it more minimalistic. We then have 2 kind of sports bras. We have a crop top that's slightly longer with a higher neck. We also have a sports bra that has a crossover at the back. And
then a comfort bra that's more, because again, say for instance, Vi and I are not, I'm not so much into, workout and stuff at the moment. And Vi is really more into comfort, but still wearing like activewear all the time. So it was really important for us to also have, I guess we call it activewear, but it's more so at leisure wear, like things that you can wear anytime, to grab coffees, go for walks, even, to chill at home and stuff. So we have that comfort bra that's basically, has the support of a sport bra, but is more so something that you'll
wear all the time. And
That's
it's that feeling of women getting home and just taking off their bras and feeling like there's a release. It's kind of like there's that option to wear something that's super comfy. Like I wore it in the weekend and just went to the shops and I kind of forgot that I had it on. It was just nice.
I'm loving the crossover with like activewear and streetwear now with fashion. It's cool. You can't go through Ponsonby Road without the whole. It's like a runway there.
And then we also have biker shorts.
Cool.
Because we need something for summer.
Yeah,
and that was more actually Anna's idea because
I had to push for that one.
Because I'm just more so someone who wears like just leggings or run shorts because as I said I used to do Muay Thai, so I'm never gonna have something that's too tight or something. But then Anna was like, oh no, but the biker shorts, that's a thing.
It's a thing. In summer that's basically all I wore, just like a biker shorts and just like an oversized tee. It's just super comfortable, way better than short shorts that ride up and just aren't super comfy. You can just kind of
really
wear
like
everywhere.
Activewear that you're taking out of the gym as well.
All the time.
So what's it made out of?
So we have 2 types of fabrics. So the colored ones are made out of recycled plastic bottles, and the black ones are made out of basically regenerated fishing nets. And at first we were looking at the plastic bottles only, but we found that the black ones were a bit too shiny, and so that's why we went for the other one. So it's slightly different, but it's basically the same process. It's just using waste and recreating basically yarn and fabrics.
Interesting. How does that feel, and what's the stretchiness like in comparison to, I guess, all the other competitors?
A lot of people are pleasantly surprised.
It's basically just it's exactly the same as virgin plastic. It's the same composition. It's just that the source of the material is from different streams. But otherwise the end product is similar to anything that you have in the market.
People will be quite amazed how soft it is. For activewear, like. I'm wearing it all the time.
What I find amazing is if you can maintain great quality and all that sort of thing with using recycled plastics and recycled materials, it's like, why isn't everybody doing that? But I guess it is, like you said, it's something that does take a bit of research and time and
I guess it's something that came out 2 or 3 years ago now. And obviously it's just that it's more expensive than using virgin plastic, for instance. But in terms of composition, you always have, say, 70% of polyester and then 20% of spandex. So again, the composition would be the same for, Lululemon or Nike and ours. It's just that, again, it comes down to the type of material that has been used at the very beginning of the process.
Cool. I reckon let's shift now from the product and into the entrepreneurs that you two are. I was looking at your Insta page, and what was that?
Bottom.
Oh, anyway, I was looking at your Insta page, and I saw that you've actually got a few projects on the go. Talk to us about your entrepreneurial journey. Is this something that you've always?
Should I start from this very beginning, because I can start from way back. No, I don't know. Like, to be honest, I've always had these kind of things. I've never actually been an entrepreneur in a sense that I never launched my own. Well, I did, but. Anyway, so I didn't go full on in one of the side projects that I'm doing at the moment. But yeah, I mean, I started way back. I always had like a little notebook next to my bed with, you know, like business ideas since I'm, I don't know, 12, 15 or something.
Wow, yeah, right.
Like,
It's in your DNA, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's some, you know, it's full of crap ideas, but also some good ideas sometimes.
For sure.
But it's just that I've never actually fully gone, I guess, to the launch process, to the launch stage up until now. And all the little projects that I'm working on are more like, I guess, smaller side projects.
Yeah.
And this one is obviously, you know, the big one now that I'm focusing on. I actually did launch an organic, I guess, a clothing line, I don't know, 5-6 years ago, with organic t-shirts and hoodies made out of recycled bottles as well, with my flatmate back then. But then I stopped because I moved here. So yeah, it's always been a thing, but it's just that, you know, now that I'm older and have a bit more experience in business, it's just easier for me to invest my time in that project.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's always been something that I was, you know, like I've been interested in, and yeah, I just that I needed the right person.
Yeah. Yeah, so are you, what's your role? Are you like the visionary?
I don't know, I just have lots of random ideas all the time. Just ideas. And again, as I said, it's just good that I have Anna and Vi as well, because we all really complete each other. Again, Vi is really like more of an artist. So she has a really different visions, and everyone can challenge the other or motivate the other one, and everyone brings their own expertise as well.
Yeah. So what are the roles in the three that you've got? So Vi is, what does she do?
So she also has a marketing background, but
Gotcha.
as I said, she's really good at, you know, like managing projects. She's well, some sort of like social bee as well. She loves to, you know, like talk about the projects to others. And, you know, make sure that we are actually focusing on the things we should be doing. And yeah, Anna, with her background, she's more into social media and digital and managing, you know, the Instagram page and everything. Whilst I like to do, you know, like behind the scenes stuffs, and dealing with the suppliers.
The technician.
Yeah, well, I don't know if you can call me a technician, but I just like to do things that no one sees.
Because when me and Shanae work, I'm also like the visionary. I point where we go, and she does all the things that come with that. I suck at detail. I suck at detail. I won't see the problem until it's on fire. And I'm like, okay, better tend to that. And well, fuck, I forgot my question. I lost my train of thought.
Each person's role.
Yep. Covered that. Yeah, that's right. Well, we were on your projects. Cool. So, do you work full time as well, or your side hustles and your projects?
Yeah, no, I work full time. So all my side projects are done in my spare time.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
How do you find time for all of that? Did you mention before you had kids too?
Yeah.
She goes to bed at 2. That's what she does.
I don't know. It's just that I'm just I don't know. I just find time for things that matters. And
that's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, I guess you know, like over the weekend, I do lots of I guess charity stuff as well. I just like to I don't know, do things. You know, I just feel like if I don't do something, then well, I'm either bored or, you know, I'm not doing enough. So yeah, I just try to, you know, find time to do it all. Yeah.
And you enjoy life, good life.
Yeah, I do actually.
That's great. And you, Anna, you've been on an entrepreneurial journey for as long as I've known you. I remember because you were doing GoFit and you were doing your like your videography and photography then. And I remember when you started Fog too. So what's that journey been like for you, you know, from the births and the deaths of ideas and projects?
I think that I'm definitely not, to other people, I definitely haven't come off as like an entrepreneur. I think from a young age, My dad was always an inspiration. He set up his own IT company in England, and then sold it, and we came over here. But I remember always telling him that I was going to own my own building and drive a Mercedes. And I think that from a young age I've always known that I had dyslexia, and I always struggled with school of what people find so much easier than, you know, articulating to how your brain even thinks. For me, I found that much harder, and I think that through my creative skills I've really been able to hone that, and through that has just been a strong passion. Like, for example, my Instagram Go for Anne was simply just a passion for sharing and just being excited for what I'm interested in, and then through that came Fog, and just wanting to do that as a full-time job, and that's something that I didn't continue with. I think I could have, however I didn't have the patience to be able to build up a large client base and kind of wait over a long period of time for that. And I think that I really realised that my true passion is being very creative, in some type of creative space. So collectively was kind of that project that I fell into, that I was very passionate, and I could see that I'm very driven and dedicated to it as well. But yeah, I think you just have to be open-minded along the way, like write your ideas down. Definitely, I think finding someone that you look up to, or that could be like a little bit of a mentor. I think Jess for me has definitely been that person. Same with Vi, like they're both role models for me, and I think we can bounce ideas off each other, and we're quite passionate about our own things, but the same thing at the same time, and that's been really exciting to work with others and not just by yourself.
Yeah, I think it's especially important when you're trying to create something out of your passion to have a good support network around you. Otherwise it can feel like you're going in circles. It's just important to have the support, eh? Yeah, do you have anything?
No, I think like you said, each of you bring a different perspective and different knowledge and different experience. So I think, like you said, and you're always going to be challenging each other's ideas, or saying, no, yep, that's an awesome idea, let's run with that one. Like if it was just yourself, you might think, oh, was this a good idea, or was this a dumb idea?
And I think our age gives a good gap as well. Like whilst you see a lot of activewear brands, and they do definitely target a younger demographic, but Jess and Vi can, both mums, they can bring that mum perspective, whilst I can bring maybe like around the 20s to maybe focusing on girls that are younger. So it's a good balance.
What practical tips would you give because there's a lot of people, especially in this age of social media and information, that we can now like turn any idea into something at least, or take action on it. What would your advice be to helping people really take that plunge?
Well, I guess it's just, again, like doing something that you're passionate about, that's, you know, like that's just gonna work for you, that makes you happy, and you know, like everything will fall into places when it has to you know. Again, you just need to find the one product or the one service or whatever that you truly believe in, and then it makes things easy.
And I think like what I've learned is everything that I've done, I've never cared about what people think about me, because at the end of the day, that's what you're passionate about, and why should you stop because other people think you can't continue, or you shouldn't be doing that? Because all you should be caring about is yourself. I think there's a big thing about failing, or even public failure. That people everyone fails. That's the thing. Like our first launch, it may go well, but you know, we may not get as many orders as we want, but everyone else starts like that. No one 100%. Starts something and it just is successful right off the bat. It takes years to be able to get profit and start to earn yourself, you know.
It doesn't have to be perfect from the get-go. I mean, you know, it's continuous improvements, and again, we even, you know, like recently we've learned that, nothing goes as per planned. So you just have to deal with it, and that's how you learn, and that's how you grow. And again, success, I mean, depends on you know, also on what people consider a successful business. Success is not always is not always reflected by the amount of money you make or the number of items you sell. It's what you do, and for us, it's, I guess, really trying to make a little change and offering something that's better than what's existing in the market, and
and also giving back as well. Like from the get-go, that's always something that we wanted to have in mind. Like Jess suggested the idea of having collectively as like 100% donation. That we would get no profit, and I was like, so how are we going to grow from this?
So
how's I going to eat?
It's true. Initially, I wanted that. I looked into social enterprises and stuff, and I wanted to just do something for fun, I guess. Yeah. But then, it takes time, and obviously we had to invest in the company and things to make the products. It has to be profitable, but it has to be sustainable. And again, it doesn't mean that we have to move like huge quantities. It just means that we need to have something that's a business model that works. And as Anna said, the giving back to the community is still a big piece of a big part of the project. And this is why, again, in our ways to make things more sustainable, we want to also have an option to an option at the end of the product lifespan for consumers to actually recycle or upcycle their leggings. So at some stage they will be able to send that back to us, and then we are kind of trying to upcycle these into I guess, how do you call that, side items, or other little
turn
items.
them into something else.
Cool. So we're not recycling them because we don't, say, turn the. I mean, I guess because recycling is basically just taking regenerating the fabric and stuff. Whilst here we upcycle them, so we would just literally cut the a leg of the leggings and then turn them into little sanitary bags or scrunchies or something, and then we can give these back to local charities.
And there's zero waste with that as well. Like that's what we were doing on the weekend, and you just get like thread that's this much from the material. I mean, not the material, but
So it's a whole
it's a process.
Yeah, there's so much. There's so much goes on. We're about to do our first ever live event where we have speakers, and it's on Friday, and there's so much that are popping up that I could not have even thought of last week, because you only get through the process, right? New levels, new devils, new things will pop up, and I've got to remind myself to be kind to myself, because I couldn't have known any better, and I can't expect a perfect event when it's your first one, I just got to keep reminding myself that it's a process.
It's the thing. I mean, that's the thing. People are always going to come at you and criticize you or something. But at least you're trying to do something. And and then I guess again, if you only listen to the people who are going to make negative comments, then you're not going to go anywhere.
So, I think something that also helps me fall back and gives me confidence is being curious. Is that as long as I'm curious about the thing because obviously if you're curious about something, you're interested in it, and because you're curious, no matter whether it's a problem, a loss, or a win, you somewhat welcome it, right? Because that's just how study works. You know what I mean? Yeah.
And I think just that if you take every experience as a learning experience, that you can only get better, that you're going to learn from each experience or slip up or failure, and that you will think, okay, this is how we can do it better next time, or like next time we need to remember to do this, or we should try this. So you're going to continually, I think, evolve and grow as you learn.
I still do think then it's not so much about fear of failure. I think people do want to do what they're curious about or interested in. It's that they're afraid of what other people think. It's it's the fear of public failure.
Yeah, but again, as soon as you just stop thinking about that, then you're just freeing yourself.
But it is going to happen, and I think what you can do is laugh about it. Like the logos we got. Our distributor.
That's right, you got bigger ones.
Printed much larger logos than we wanted originally, and we're all about being minimalistic. Even with the branding, we don't want to be in your face. We want people to wear the product because it's comfortable, and the branding is there to say it's our brand, but yeah, unfortunately, that was the first half of our actual products, and yeah, they made it big, and I think we were all, very annoyed and
Depressed.
but we just had to laugh about it, like, yeah.
And actually, it was actually a good thing because we were like, okay, so what are we going to do about that? Because we don't want to send the stock back because that would go against our, like, value of trying to limit waste and stuff.
They couldn't just take it off.
Destroy it. You can't take it off and reprint it. And then again, we were like, well, like, we're a small business. We're all about being transparent. So, well, we may as well explain what happened.
Yeah.
And actually, we got really good.
People are forgiving.
Yeah,
people
and
are
they
extremely
said,
forgiving.
or they said that they liked it. They
Yeah.
liked it.
Yeah.
Larger one looks
Yeah.
But I think
fine.
it's just that we were so used to having, the small
The
one
small,
that when we saw the big one, it was like a big thing for us.
Yeah.
It was actually like 2 centimeters bigger.
Yeah.
But
It was quite a lot bigger.
yeah, it just
It's always something that you can change, It's
Yeah.
not forever, but unfortunately, it's just not how we wanted it.
Yeah, for sure. So just as we draw to a wrap up, we just got 2 more questions for the both there. How do you define success?
Well, again, as I said, it's not, for me at least, it's not represented by the money you make. It's just trying to find something that makes you happy and doing something that's gonna be helpful for others, or that's gonna I don't know, just help educate consumers. And again, there's no there's nothing that's too little for people to change. So again, if we can help them make a shift to something that's more eco-friendly or more eco-conscious, then that's already a win.
I'm the same. I don't think success definitely necessarily comes down to the money side of it. I think it's doing something that you love and doing it every single day, being passionate about it, knowing that you're giving back in some way and helping someone. I feel like it will definitely be the comments that we'll get, and people are so surprised and actually enjoy the material, and knowing that everything that we've kind of done over the past year and a bit has been definitely worthwhile. And I think especially for those larger sizes, people, not only larger, finding activewear that's minimalistic and that they love and suits them, but saying thank you for being able to make that size, because not many brands do, that are just nice and black and simple. They also come in funny colours and may not be fitting and adjusted. So it's just thinking about everyone and how the feedback that we'll get, I think, is a success to me anyway. And then obviously getting a little bit of profit and investing that back into the business, because for me, I would love to see it grow, and I would love to see it become more of an educational thing and changing small things for individuals in New Zealand, and then eventually, going over internationally. We already had someone from Europe asking, I can't wait till this brand comes out, and I'm sorry to mention, but it will only be in New Zealand so far, but...
So far, keywords. For our listeners that do want to make an eco and sustainable, they want to take an eco and sustainable, approach, what are your practical tips to help them do that?
Well, again, I think people need to stop thinking that one little change won't make a difference. Again, it's not about being the perfect green shopper. It's about implementing small changes in your daily life that can just, help make the planet better in some ways. You can still, have your orange juice in a plastic bottle, but then, drop your shampoo and move to shampoo bars. I don't know, small things that that can just make a difference, really. Again, you don't have to be perfect, and you don't have to think that's what you're doing doesn't matter. Because again, if you're doing one small change, but 7 million people do it, then it's already
it makes a big change. I agree. I think it's small things that I've certainly started to do that hopefully we can make some more tips on our page, just reusable coffee cups. For me, subconsciously I started shopping and getting all these bags from people, and then although they're paper bags, they then fold them in, you know, material, and I just say, don't give me that because I'm just going to throw it out. It's literally just a waste. Like I'll carry it, or I'll have one bag and then I'll just put everything underneath, you know. It's just finding small things for you and picking up on that, and just kind of starting to become a bit more aware, I think, is the first step. And then just implementing that to a friend. Like I learnt the other day that I was telling to Jess, I was like, I did this hormone test online and I found that one hormone is above average, and the result of that was too much consumption of plastic. So I was eating too much out of plastic containers, whether it was just heated or cool, that I need to find a bamboo or a plastic lunchbox. And for me, that's really important to my own health. And it's finding small little things like that and just making a small change.
And even on our page, I mean, so yes, it's going to be, like it's a brand page, and we're going to talk about the products and stuff, but we don't want to just talk about the products. We want to also have educational posts, little stories, but that goes beyond just the products. It's, again, it's a lifestyle more than just, like talking about the brand and products.
Absolutely. So now 2 more questions. Where can people find you, and when can they expect the launch date?
Oh, that's a good question. So at the moment, I guess the Instagram page is the only platform we have.
Cool.
Yeah.
And we're currently finalizing the website because obviously we had the first half of the first drop. So we are kind of ready to launch soon, but we just need to find time to finalize stuff.
So it's at This Is Collectively at the moment on Instagram.
Cool.
That will be soon to grow a little bit more and develop.
Awesome.
But we're yet to find an exact launch date. Hopefully it shall be soon though.
Yeah.
Maybe
so first of all, people,
months.
you need to follow at This Is Collectively on Instagram. Look out for the launch date.
Yeah.
And that's when you'll find out and be able to purchase.
Exactly.
So what have you got? What can they purchase? Leggings and sports bra right now.
Yeah.
And bikers and a
bikers.
comfort bra.
Boom.
Yeah,
that's
and
about
hopefully some more staples in the future, but not just
Forward
yet.
to it.
Yeah. Well, you all heard it here first. Thank you, ladies, so much for coming on and spreading your knowledge and passion with us. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
For having us.
See
Yeah, it's been
you,
awesome.
team.